Hi, we are the legendary Jays. Today we are going to discuss the novel, which is Legend by Mary Lou. The book is from the point of view of two 15-year-olds who are in very different positions in life. One is a poor boy named Day, who is a criminal and who is desperate to get medicine to save his brother, but now ends up arrested with one family member dead and the other two captive. The other teen is June, who arrested him because she thought he killed her brother. However unlikely it might be for them to trust each other, they end up unraveling the lies of their government, the Republic, and finding the truth together.
What is education? How is it displayed in the novel Legend?
Well, in our society, education is based on different levels. First, we go through grade schooling to prepare for a more advanced education. After that, you have an option to go to a college, which determines your life after that, based on your career of the career of your choosing. After that is After that is a further degree to prepare for your career. Although in the novel, the Republic educates differently.
Yes, I think that education is learning new skills through experience and teaching it directly or indirectly. Like how you can learn through playing an instrument or to do math from a teacher, but you could also learn through something like TV. But that doesn't apply to just our world, it also applies to Legend. You can see this by how June was able to get a 1500 out of 1500, but she had the same education as everyone else. But the difference was she was also educated by the world around her because she paid attention to what went on. And they got the same education by paying attention and learning through experience. Like Sophie said, education in the Republic is different than the norm in our society.
I agree with Andre. Education is learning something and it is displayed in Legend where the kids take the trial, which is a system of where the smartest go to a good college and good career, which reflects how education is used in the Republic.
Like Andre kind of said, I think education is different based on the person and doesn't always relate to schools. For example, he said that you can learn through the TV in today's society. But the jumbotrons are also kind of like TVs and they show propaganda and people are educated that way too. Some people prefer going out and doing actual work, like fixing things in today's society. They learned how to survive on the streets by actually getting out and doing it, so he educated himself in surviving. Other people stay and are educated by the school, like June's straight classmates. However, some people go above and beyond by educating themselves as well as learning from the system, like June.
How is the education system of the Republic broken?
Well, first of all, I think it is unfair that if you were raised in a poor sector, you are predicted to stay there because you cannot pay for extra schooling to prepare for the trial, which means you'll get a bad score. And if you get a bad score, you do not get to complete your education and you stay in a poor sector, fighting for survival while the people that pass sit snug in their air conditioned living rooms drinking a cup of coffee.
Right. The poor have less of a chance to pass the trial. I mean, I think like everyone is equal, but the republic just like values different things than our society. I think that it is broken because the trial is used as part of the education process. They choose who's gifted or not. There should not be segregation of the poor and rich. Also, the consequences for failing A are not fair to the kids. They are lab rats, and so are the people who barely pass the trial.
I think it is broken because people are chosen for the trial, like Mahika and Sophie said, because the Republic chooses whether they can go or not, which I think is very unfair because they should have their own choices.
The education system of the Republic is broken because the people who live in the Republic don't have any true information about the world outside what the Republic tells them, which I find very unreasonable. Like V said, they should have the choice to determine what's true or not, but the Republic is choosing for them, which is not fair.
How are the rich and poor educated or treated differently?
The rich are educated different from the poor because the rich get more education and they get more opportunities to have a good career compared to the poor. The rich get more food and are guaranteed a good home.
I agree with Ovid, but I also think the rich get educated differently in the way that privileged kids are different from the poor, and that's in mindset. The rich think that everything will come easy, like with the electricity and medical care, but the poor, they know they will have to work for every little chance they can get to improve their condition in life.
I also agree with both Andre and Ovid, and also that the rich people got better homes and shelters, along with food to eat and electricity. And like Ovid said, they are more privileged. They also get again schooling to prepare for the trial, so they will get a better score. They have more security, so they are more likely to stay safe and not have to depend on the instincts of their survival.
Again, the rich are always looked at as the better people, so they will get more education and better education. Where when you look at the poor people, they are looked down to and therefore worse and less education. Like everyone said, privileged is a good word for them. For example, how they are treated different is the plague cares are only given to rich people and the poor people have to wait.
How did June and Day learn more about their world through the course of the book?
I think June learned more from the truth she uncovered that, like Matthias dying because the Republic wanted him to die. She found out that the Republic was very flawed and not what she thought of at all, and they even killed kids who failed the trial. I think also they also learned more about his world because of the kids too, but for a different reason. He learned through experience of being them.
Well, they learned that that too, but they learned through suspicion and experience. And like Mahika said, he thought it was unusual that only the poor people get the plague, and he has experienced what they do to kids that fail their trials, and he managed to escape his fate even though he did not fail. They are not sent to labor camps, but they die.
Like Sophie said, Day learned from experience and suspicion. He experienced what happens to kids who fail firsthand.
I agree with Sophie and V because the way in the book that it's taught is that everyone gets the same education at first, but then Day and June, because they were able to make it to a certain point in their life, they were able to get a different education and learn more about their world by just experiencing it and going through it, like figuring out that the plagues were set up and how that not everything about the trial was what it seemed to be.
So, how does the education affect their lives?
Well, I think that the rich are better off because they get training for jobs that are well paying and are considered first for anything like medical care and job promotion. I mean, like in the hospital, they would always go to the rich first and then the poor be put in a waiting room even though they had serious conditions. That is because they had a high score and were educated better than the poor. They had more of a chance to pass the trial in the first place with the training they got for it that they could hire for the kids. And if the rich got high scores, they have supposedly great genes that they would pass on to their kids, who would have an even greater chance of getting through the trial, who would be better and really intelligent and athletic.
Education affects their lives because it affects what college you go to, what job you get, and how much money you get paid.
I agree with everyone else. The rich gets treated better because of the score that they got because of education. The poor live a hard life when they do not get a good score and in their trial. If they fail, they die.
I agree with everyone because because they're all saying about how the trial is when people either live or die just because based on where they started off with, but if they don't have a higher chance to make it out of where they are, then you won't be able to find what's truly supposed to be there.
So I think that we found that education was different in the Republic in today's society. Some of it was the same, like a system of different schools, but others were different, like the educational values that they valued. Education is different for everyone, and everyone is equal.